In the year 47, the adventuring sisters Taran Gorum and Daphne Tirsil came across a new land. These sisters were daughters of the mortal-turned-god Cyrus from a faraway land. These sisters formed new countries on the new land. Daphne formed Tirsil, and Taran founded Gorum. Tirsil had the virtue of light, and was made into a nation of prosperity, health, and faith to Cyrus. Gorum had the courage of fire, and was made into a nation of strength, tradition, and honor. Tirsil remained true to their faith, while Gorum strayed. Gorum swiftly became the military powerhouse of the continent, which they now called Aloura. Fast forward to the early 2900s, where each country had fully developed. Cities of wealth grew on the plentiful lands of Tirsil, while the cities of Gorum grew mighty under their harsh living conditions. Tirsil's ruler of this time is King Eliot V, who with his queen Ophelia welcomed two boys, Mars and Cillian. After centuries of devout worship, Tirsil had earned the favor of Cyrus, which manifested in the gift bestowed on Mars, the elder son of the king. Mars was born with the abilities of Cyrus's godly guardian, and was given the divine gifts of extended lifespan as one of Cyrus's inheritors of light. The queen of Gorum, Vera, heard about Cyrus's blessing. Jealous, she staged a plot to kidnap the child. Her plan was thwarted, and a war ensued. 24 years after the war started, a group of adventurers rose up, defeated Gorum's forces, and reclaimed the capital. Cillian, the younger brother of Mars, was with them. When they got to the throne room, however, they found something unexpected. Agris, the grudge demon and mortal enemy of Cyrus, had taken the capital, and killed King Eliot and Queen Ophelia. When the Alouran Crusaders made it to the throne room, they discovered Mars and Agris. Agris, with the help of his pet astral Leviathan, killed the Alouran Crusaders and Mars, sending them to the plane called the Abyss, where the dead get to fight for a second chance at life. The Crusaders made it out of the Abyss and returned to life, but they had to leave Prince Cillian behind in order to do so. Once they returned to the world of the living, they discovered that 20 years had passed, with Agris at the helm of Tirsil. Gorum had been reduced to rubble, and Tirsil had claimed everything, albeit behind a ruler who did nothing. Mars met his daughter, Cress, who had grown up fully in the meantime. She had tried to save Tirsil before, unsuccessfully, and had plans for the Crusaders to set into motion. Mars discovered that Cress had also been blessed by Cyrus as an inheritor of light, same as him. Together, they killed the astral Leviathan and stormed the castle. They discovered Agris's true form, lying deep beneath the castle in a ravine filled with lava. After a fierce battle, the Crusaders, Mars, and their Cress managed to seal Agris's spirit away within the sealed sword Osith. However, during the battle, Jim Johnson of the Crusaders was killed, lost to the lava of the ravine. With the continent freed from his rule, Aloura was safe once again. Mars became the king, but quickly realized he had no interest in ruling, so he ceded the throne to Cress. Under Cress's rule, Tirsil expanded to lead the entire continent into a new age of peace and prosperity. Some of the Crusaders accepted new positions within the new kingdom, and the others traveled to a faraway land in order to save it from another evil. This faraway land was Aurum, far in the future from the Aurum we already know. The continent was under siege from the foul demon lords of Aloura, led by the violent dragon lord Zia. The Crusaders traveled here to help work with the heroes of this land to slay the demon lords. these heroes set a new order in Aurum, forming new districts and naming themselves the Protectors of Aurum. The Protectors that survived the battle against the Demon Lords each ruled a specific district and worked to repair it after the war. Cinder, Daldron, and Conrad decided to remain in Aurum instead of returning to Aloura. The exception to these districts was Alinor, a long-time elven nation whose elves had been corrupted by the void demon Aldine. They hadn't been affected by the ravages of the Demon Lords and hadn't aided in their defeat. However, as time grew on, reports of Alinor's evil came to the attention of some of the Protectors, who had powerful connections. 25 years after the Crusaders freed Aloura, Queen Cress heard the pleas for help from Aurum, and gathered an expeditionary force to unite the forces of Aurum and to send Aloura's most powerful soldier, Mars, to aid, as well as the princess, Taylor. The Knights of the Flaming Ratstroid, as they would later be known, traveled through Aurum, warning the Protectors of the threat of Aldine. They battled her forces along the way, including the Disciples of Aldine, warriors gifted vast power by the demon. The Knights defeated Iftin on their journey, and it was revealed that Savelle of the Protectors was actually a woman named Venus, another of Cyrus's inheritors of light. In the city of Arcadia, Evan, the traitor Protector, fought the heroes, killing Venus. In this moment, Aldine appeared to claim the head of the Inheritor of Light. The party fought her as well, killing Evan in the process. During the battle with Aldine, the newly deigned god of the Abyss, Cillian, appeared. He drove back Aldine, causing her to retreat back into the Abyss. She swore to return, and to finish what she started in killing the Inheritors. He revealed that Aldine was also known as Zeta, one of the Demon Lords that tormented Aurum previously. When the Demon Lords were slain, Aldine was banished to the Abyss, where Cillian's new rule kept her in check from returning to the living. Cillian warned that there were methods of returning that he didn't know about, and that she would find them. With this knowledge, the Knights of the Flaming Ratstroid left Aurum to return to Aloura once again. Back in Aloura, Queen Cress and Mars set about preparations to defend the kingdom. The Knights, meanwhile, spent their time on their own, growing and preparing. Once they reunited, they continued to explore the continent, aiding its people and thwarting Aldine's plans. However, they discovered that the Disciples had been digging a tunnel to Agris's body, lying dormant in the ravine. They also learned that Aldine would be able to resurrect Agris, using the sealed sword buried within Agris's body. In the chasm, they found the Pyrowoken dueling with Mars. The Knights were unable to save Mars, however, and the Pyrowoken killed him. During the battle, it was revealed that the Pyrowoken is actually Jim Johnson, a member of the Alouran Crusaders who died in the ravine. However, the Knights of the Flaming Ratstroid defeated the Pyrowoken, returning him to his rest. Despite having to mourn Mars, the Knights of the Flaming Ratstroid had heard that the gates of the Abyss had been broken, leaving them with one final mission. Aldine had led an army of mighty monsters from the depths of the Abyss to conquer Tyrosol. She gave the Knights a simple choice that would determine the fate of the world. Fight Zephyr and Callie, who had infiltrated Castle Tyrosol, and stop them from assassinating Queen Cress. Fight Aldine herself, or fight her army bent on destroying Aloura. But for the actions that were not taken, disastrous results. So, the Knights of the Flaming Ratstroid made their choice and decided to fight the army of the Abyss. With their combined might, they defeated the generals of the army, driving it back temporarily. However, they weren't done yet. Flashback to when they were on Aloura. The knights discovered a ritual book used to contact Aldine, and unbeknownst to the party, the Rat King used it, letting him get into contact with Aldine, who was still trapped in the abyss. They entered in an agreement. The Rat King would become a disciple of Aldine, and help her return to life. In return, Aldine would grant Rat King and his rats safe haven, no matter what. So, they set their plan into motion. Rat King hid his allegiance from the group, and started finding ways to return Aldine to life. He stole books, worked with the other disciples, and summoned a monster to hurt the party and cause Soren to bleed, activating a gateway to the abyss once and for all. And that led to Rat King's final mission. Kill the remaining knights of the Flaming Ratsteroid. But he couldn't. So he faked it, and fooled Aldine, hiding his friends away in a demi-plane temporarily. Aldine, satisfied with the results of the day, left, vowing to spare Rat King's home city of Arkenfell from the carnage that would ensue. In the demi-plane, after meeting with Aldine, Rat King explained everything to the group. He told them that the reason he sided with Aldine was to keep his people safe, and that he wouldn't have changed anything despite the result. Soren and Matt could not forgive him, and left, never to speak to him again. Taylor understood Rat King's reasoning, and stayed. Soren returned to his hometown of Sesserfing to help evacuate the city before it was overrun, and help them escape to Orem, where their tribe was originally from. Met returned to his hometown of Veritas Giro to rally his troops to launch an attack against Aldine again, vowing to defeat her or die trying. Rat King and Taylor returned to Arkenfell, helping restore it to glory with a new rule, since it was saved from ruin by Aldine. And so ends the tale of the Knights of the Flaming Ratsteroid, heroes torn apart on the road to ruin. Although their tales together are finished, their individual ones aren't. Fate has other plans for these heroes, and for the continent of Aloura.